Incredible food and all of that shit. So, anyways, so I went out there. I scheduled this weekend out there around the Formula One race, right? So we go to the goddamn race, and we were sitting in turn 12, which was the fucking place to be. You know, the first race I went to up in Montreal, I was on the start-finish line, and it was great to watch them go flying by at 170, 80 miles an hour, but you could barely see them. You want to be in the turns where they gotta stomp on the brakes, and that's where the racing happens. That's where the passing happens. Dude, we were there. We saw fucking Lewis Hamilton pass Max Verstappen, the two best drivers in the world, on the two best teams, you know, Mercedes and Ferrari, right in front of us. And on that same fucking turn, I think Bottas passed somebody. We got to see Hamilton pass somebody else after he had pitted, and he had tried to get back into first place again. We saw him pass again. And then on the final lap, we saw Max Verstappen going around Kimi Räikkönen. Right as they were disappearing around the fucking, was that 12, 13, 14, 15, I think 16. We could see 12, 13, 14, and 16 turns. And then up the hill, you can see turn 1. And then over to the left, you could see like turn, I don't know what it was, 5 or 6. It was ridiculous. If you ever go there, you got to sit in turn 12, I'm telling you. Or somewhere around there where you get to see all of, like, just get a map of the track. And from here on out, I don't give a fuck what race I go to. I'm going to look and see which turn has the sharpest fucking turn after a straightaway or whatever, and that's where I'm sitting, because we actually saw a little bit of an accident. I believe one of the American teams, the Haas car, got spun out. That was right in front of us. And, dude, Dean Del Rey was flipping the fuck out. Like 3 times during the race, during those passes, he fucking held up his forearm and he had goosebumps watching these guys slamming on the brakes, going around each other. You know, he's a motorcycle fucking car freak. He was losing his shit. And he was so going nuts. I was like laughing half of the time. You know when you bring somebody to something and you want them to have a good time. You're so afraid like that they're gonna look at you like, you're into this shit, dude. I'm bored. You know, they got any more fucking cheese and crackers for me to eat? He was losing his mind, freaking out. So, anyways, as if the race wasn't good enough, Max Verstappen is right on Kimi Räikkönen's ass through 12, 13, 14, 15 the whole time, and everybody is on their feet going fucking crazy. And at the last second, as they're going like up the hill, he got around him, and everybody was going nuts. And he ends up coming in third place. He's on the podium. Everything is great. We get out of there. I forgot in the beginning of the race when they did the whole Michael Buffer did all the announcements, which some racing fans didn't like, because they're all fucking snobby and shit. I saw a couple American fans apologizing. And fuck you. This is America. All right? We overeat and we're loud. All right? If you don't like it, don't have a fucking race here, you asshole. Jesus Christ. Do you get all upset when the fucking Italians cry every time a Ferrari's in first place for a lap? Fucking stuck-up cunts. Anyways, and they actually, when they brought out Daniel Ricciardo, they actually... oh, fuck. Is this on right now? All right, sorry, a little technical difficulty there. When they brought him out, Will Buxton had written all the intros, and when they brought out Daniel Ricciardo, they had Michael Buffer say Ricky Rocket. Remember when I couldn't remember the guys' names, and I was saying Ricky Rickenberg and all of that shit because I was so new to the sport. One time I called Daniel Ricciardo Ricky Rocket, obviously knowing that was the drummer from Poison. So he actually said that. How fucking nuts is that? So, anyways, at some point, I got to get a picture with Ricky Rocket and Daniel Ricciardo. See if that ever fucking happens. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe Ricky Rocket hears the shout-out. Next thing you know, he gets into the race. He goes to fucking Austin. He's also sitting in turn 12. But Daniel Ricciardo will be like, you know what? It'll be Drayson at that point. It's never going to fucking happen. Whatever. So, anyways, this morning I wake up. And I'm looking at the final, results and everything to see who won what. And I noticed that all of a sudden Max Verstappen is down in fourth place. And there's all this whole fucking Days of Thunder, Ricky Bobby fucking controversy. I guess he fucking went off on this. I guess there's this racing steward who fucked him over in Japan, Mexico, and now in Austin. And he was so mad, he said he hoped that the fans don't show up in Austin next year. It's just like, dude, he's kind of fucking you around the globe. There's no reason to single us out, right? Did you not like your nickname in the fucking intros? Sorry. But anyways, it was a phenomenal race. I'm actually blowing through so much of this shit. I should probably try and slow down here. But I have to get to the next thing. So then we left there, and then we went. My wife better not listen to this podcast. She's going to get annoyed with me. Then we went back to the hotel, dropped off our shit, and we went back down over to the venue, and we got to see Primus, and they basically opened for themselves. Played like for an hour and then took a half-hour break and played for another 90 minutes. And I got to be honest with you, I am not a drug guy, but I actually, with all the video shit that they had going on and the whole psychedelic vibe. Oh, by the way, another heckler at that show. Like Larry's, one of his pedals or something wasn't working. You know, so Les is talking to the crowd. He was actually talking about that, what is that, blue, you know, those damn blue collar tweakers, this old town, hey, that fucking song. He was talking about how he came up with that, tweakers. I thought he was talking about meth, you know? I didn't know it was about the waters being stolen from Northern California. So he's sitting there talking about it because they're trying to fix Larry's pedals. This guy in the crowd goes, "Stop fucking preaching." Can you? I was beside myself. I would think everybody in the crowd would just beat the shit out of me, but Les, once again, both of them just handled it like a pro. He joked his way out of it. He said something fucking hilarious about, presenting any questions he had. Please present them in written form. True or false questions work best for me. I'm butchering it, but it was like really funny. To the point I was actually kind of happy the guy heckled him because, Les is fucking hilarious. So I finally got to see Tim Alexander play live. His fucking kit is, he has like a double bass pedal on like a 20-inch bass drum. And they had all of this stuff going on in the background, and I'm sitting there, trying to figure out, what Tim is playing and all of that shit. And after they opened for themselves, they took a half-hour break. Then they came out and they started playing all the stuff off of their new album. I hope I say this right, Desaturating 7. And they had all this video stuff going on. And I actually looked over at Dean at one point. I believe when they had elephants jumping on trampolines. And the way that the filter was on it, it looked like, what was that really cool movie Vin Diesel did where he couldn't see? Just how you would look. I keep thinking Riddick Bowe. I know it's not that. That was a boxer. I forget what I can never remember the name of the movie. But it was like sort of in that sort of filter, and it was an elephant jumping up and down on a trampoline, and then it became 3, and then one of them started doing somersaults. And what I loved when it came down, like the trunk would be like fluttering in the wind as it came down. And I literally looked over at Dean. I go, you know what? I've never had this thought before, but I really wish I was on drugs right now. I'm not a drug guy, or I've stayed away from, I smoke weed every once in a while. Usually when I'm not drinking because I'm so fucking bored. I don't know how straight edge people do it. I really don't. But I pretty much stayed away from all of like the evil drugs other than alcohol. I think alcohol is an evil drug. It's an angry drug. Like, you know what I mean? Like weed is cool. Mushrooms are cool. But like Coke is evil. Alcohol's evil. I don't know. I feel like the shit that just makes you kind of sit around. You can't really do anything. Just giggling at yourself. I don't know why anybody would like just choose to stay in the dark side. I don't know. Maybe you're just a fucking dark human being and you relate to it. But you'd think you'd want to go the opposite way. I don't fucking know. But I've never taken mushrooms or anything like that, but I don't know. That was the first time I was just like, I wouldn't have minded being in like an altered state throughout this. If I could have just given I just always worry that I would freak out. That's why I never, like my generation they were always like, had the whole thing telling you stories about people who took LSD and they pulled their eyeballs out and fucking jumped. I mean, I would never fuck with LSD either. But like, I don't know. I was actually going like, I think this would have been one of those times. I mean, if I just did mushrooms once every 49 years, I mean, it's like, be like Halley's Comet, Sort of, right? I don't fucking know. All I know was they were unbelievable. And I don't even know which was my favorite. I think, was it Southbound Pachyderm? It's probably my favorite. It was just an unbelievable, the whole night was just fucking incredible. And that was my weekend. I got to do 3 shows at Austin City Live, the best venue as far as sound I've ever performed in. I then got to see Jimmy Vaughn in this small little bar, like doing the world a favor. He doesn't need to do that gig. Comes down, right? And then I got to go to an F1 race, and then I saw Primus after that. And now I come back to Atlanta to do a fucking movie to pretend to be somebody else. I swear to God, there's a piano waiting to fall on my fucking head at some point during this week. Something's going to happen. And actually, I already did, but I'm not going to talk to you about it. It was some other fucking bullshit. Getting some work done on the house, and the workers came there, and somebody said, hey, the door to your house was open. And I was like, oh, fuck, did somebody break into our house? So I'm dealing with that. But you know what? That's what happens. That is what happens. When you have all this good stuff going on, something happens. You stub your fucking toe, you get audited, something's going to happen. I don't fucking know. That's all I was going to do. I was going to go there, play Austin City Live, and then go to the F1 race. And then that was it. That was going to be my fucking Make-A-Wish weekend. It was going to be perfect. However, I get there, and somebody tells me, hey, Jimmy Vaughn is playing, what the fuck was the name of the venue? We just went there. Something Sky venue or something. This little bar, cool-ass fucking bar. Was like Jimmy Vaughn's going to be playing down there. I only had one show Saturday night. You guys should go down and check him out. Went down, checked him out, sat in a booth like 5 feet away from the stage. Saw the great Jimmy Vaughn. He had this unbelievable fucking keyboard player and drummer. And I just got to watch them play a set. It was this big CD album release party that they were having. We got to meet him in between sets. Could not have been nicer, more generous, just really warm, great guy. And I got to tell you, man, there was this one asshole in the crowd. The more I go to, like, music shows, like, they always talk about how comedians get heckled. Like, we get heckled, 'cause most of the times we deserve it. We say something that isn't funny, or we annoy somebody, right? This guy's up there, he's playing music, and he's killing it, and it sounds great. This asshole in the crowd, he said something, I don't want to fucking hear that shit. I want to blah, blah. Like 5 feet away. Yelling at him like he hired him for his private birthday party. And I don't know how Jimmy kept his composure. I don't know how he did. Like, I couldn't believe he didn't smash the fucking guitar over his head. He just was like, nah, man, I'm up here, I'm playing music. This fucking loser who's never done shit with his life. As far as I can tell, he's with some woman who literally fell down drunk, and he got her another fucking beer. And then other than that, it was like this perfect evening. And I just was, as a performer, was astounded the classy way that he handled that guy, because God knows I wouldn't have. But other than that, asshole, it was just this incredible night. And me and Dean were just sitting there like, a couple of kids could not believe that we got to see him and got to see him play. Like, it was just classic old school musician. We were out in the fucking parking lot. He just pulls up, drove himself to the gig, just old school shit. goes in, walks up on stage, looked fucking great, plugs in, tunes up. People, he's tuning up his own guitar, you know, all of that shit. People, hey, Jimmy, like just started looking, nodding, whatever. He's all tuned up, walks off stage, comes back 10 minutes later, and just proceeds to absolutely murder it for like 90 minutes, right? So, like, that wasn't great enough. I would go, dude, you believe we're seeing this guy, and we're going to go to this race the next day. So, anyways, we're with some of the people from Austin City Live there. I go, by the way, who's playing your venue? Who comes in there next? And they go, Primus. I go, when? They go, Sunday night. I go, get the fuck out of here. I've never seen them. All right? Tim Alexander is one of my favorite fucking drummers of all time. I got to see this guy live, so I changed my fucking flight. And they go, all right, man, we'll fucking hook you up. And we go to the race. I know this is probably annoying to a lot of you guys that I got to do all of this shit, but I have to tell you. What am I going to lie and act like I didn't have a great... Am I supposed to tone down my joy? Because you're in a goddamn cubicle right now? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I fucking humiliated myself for the first 8 years of my stand-up career before I finally figured out how to be funny. And that I'm a 25-year overnight success. Can I continue without pissing off too many of you? I know how the fucking, I know how the internet is. I know how it works. Well, fuck you. All right? Just know this. If I ever get sick, I don't need to have a fucking Make-A-Wish because I lived it this weekend.